welcome to another one of our little chats on the project The People of 1381. I'm Adrian Bell. Introduce my colleague sitting next to me here.
I'm Herbert Eiden. I'm a research assistant on the project.
So today, Herbert, I thought we could just quickly explore one aspect of the revolt that's intriguing. We kind of know the effect of the revolt on economy, society, government, but sometimes miss the effect on the actual individual actors who took part in the events of these days. Is there ways we can ways we can know what happened to the individuals?
Yes, I mean, we know there are the unfortunate individuals who were executed. We know that they were executed either from central indictments and from court sessions. But we also know from manorial court if they have been killed or executed in the course of the rising. There are some, for example, there's John Filiol, he's the miller of East Hanningfield, and John Jeffrey, who's the bailiff. They are both executed in Chelmsford in Essex a few days or a week after the rising for their part in the rising. But then we also have we find also people who are not in central indictments, and there is this grim case of Nicholas de Orford in Norfolk, in Houghton. Houghton is in the Broads, in the Norfolk Broads, and he's a smallholder. He has a little bit of unfree land, what is called, he's a native tenant, but he also has a half a rod, which is a land measure of free land. And he is killed in the last battle against Dispenser in North Walsham. And he is and we only know of his commitment, or that he took part in this last battle, because the manorial court rolls tell us he was killed in North Walsham. And then there is this entry which is very short, but somehow quite grim, because it says, and he is survived by Alice, his 7-year-old daughter. There is no mention of anyone else, so either it's because his daughter is the next heir, or the mother is not there, and then she might end up as an orphan. However, there are also the majority of the people who took part in the rising on a local level survived and had hardly their careers in the dented, so to speak. They were going on staying or becoming chief pledges, which is a kind of a local officer looking after the good behavior of their neighbors and of their or their work in other, or they serve in other offices on the manor, or they acquire more land, and so it's a wide field of what happened to them. There's also quite interesting. There is a long memory locally about the risings. In some cases, we only find in the 1390s a reference to the Peasants' Revolt, when it was when people should or wanted to find out if a piece of land, or the conditions under which a piece of land is held. So then they ask a jury, because it says the court rolls were destroyed during the time of the rising. And it's also in another case which is a bit closer to 1381. In 1384, the Lord of the Manor of Stystead in Essex again got probably fed up with the bad behavior of the tenants, and it's a sentence saying, the Lord just warns his tenants that they have a stock in which they can put any people who are recalcitrant or not following their orders.
I mean, so I think it's fascinating that, as you described, that some people have clearly, there's great, through to executions and deaths and people being left alone, but also for other people, it's hardly a murmur in their lives. So I think it's interesting that how history can be a ripple, but also can be a huge event.
Yes, I mean, obviously it is. I think the people who took part will stay with them forever to the rest of their life. But this is not a remark this is an observation, not made as an historian, but as from life experience, you would say. But it's interesting. Some people actually might lay low for a moment, because you can't find them in documents anymore. There is John Mitchell, who has supposedly killed Flemings during the Rising, and he disappears from the Colchester records for 3 or 4 years, and then he appears again. Okay. So he might have thought it's better, either he went away, or he might have thought it's better not to become to expose myself too much to the authorities. I
was looking at this rebel from Cambridgeshire today, and it looked similar, that he may have actually gone and enrolled in and become a soldier in the Scottish marches for the next 3 years, for instance, and disappears from the records, as you say, just to lie low while the heat is on, while they can. So thank you very much, Herbert. Good to talk to you today, and hope you enjoyed that.